Hello and a warm welcome. This is the news on NTAi International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemui and Taiwo Uzoma is the sign language interpreter. Now let's begin with the headline. Now, President Tinubu congratulates Mark Joseph Carney on the Liberal Party's victory in Canadian parliamentary elections and his election as the 24th Prime Minister. Federal government reiterates calls for global cooperation to combat terrorism and extremism. And preparation to elect new pope underway. An Italian cardinal says he will not take part in the secret conclave. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, President Tinubu has congratulated Mark Joseph Carney on the Liberal Party's victory in the recent Canadian parliamentary elections and his election as the 24th Prime Minister. President Tinubu acknowledges the significance of the hard-fought electoral triumph at a time when the country needs a leader with a wealth of experience. He expresses Nigeria's commitment to deepening relations between the two nations, particularly in education, climate change, and migration. Now, federal government reiterates its call for enhanced global cooperation to combat terrorism and extremism. The call came when Nigeria condemned the recent terrorist attack in South Kashmir's Pahalgam, resulting in 26 deaths, mostly tourists, and many injured. A statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs points out terrorism in all its forms and manifestations is a global menace requiring collective action and firm commitment from the international community. It adds that Nigeria, having faced similar challenges, understands the devastating impact of such acts of violence. The statement further extends solidarity and prayers to the people of India as they recover from this tragic incident, noting that Nigeria stands united in the pursuit of peace, stability, and justice worldwide. And now Tanzania is about to receive 40 expert volunteers from Nigeria through the Nigerian Technical Aids Corps and NTAc. The Director General NTAc, Dr. Yusuf Buba Yakub, at the orientation for their deployment said through the scheme, Nigeria has maintained its big brother posture to other African countries, saying the volunteers who cut across diverse fields of science and engineering are soft diplomatic tools for the countries, urging them to fly the country's flag proudly in their host country.
Like I mentioned earlier, today in some countries, our volunteers are taking up leadership positions. Like in Gambia, we have vice chancellors of universities, and we have deputy vice chancellors, and we have judges in other countries, and so on. So we are calling on our volunteers to make sure that they put in their best, they portray the name of Nigeria out there. The main target is to portray our name and our image. That is soft power diplomacy.
They are to serve for 2 years in different universities and institutions in Tanzania. As Vietnam marks the 50th anniversary of its unification as a nation, the country says it is committed to maintaining the robust relations with Nigeria and other African countries. At a press briefing in Abuja to roll out activities to celebrate the day on April 30th, the Vietnam ambassador to Nigeria commended the growing trade relations with many African countries, saying Nigeria remains its strong partner in many fields.
We are exporting electronics, we are exporting garment and textile products, or shoes, bags to Nigeria and some other materials. But we are not exporting our rice to Nigeria yet, not because of us, but because of you. Because we have kind of the protection of the domestic production of foods, of rice.
We want to export
We are importing mainly cashew nuts, raw materials, cashew nuts from Nigeria and ginger or some other agricultural crops.
Let's now go to Spain, where the country's grid operator rules out a cyber attack as the cause of a sweeping blackout that sparked chaos for millions of people across the Iberian Peninsula. Kolo Mohammed has details.
Authorities are still trying to establish the cause of crisis, with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez urging people not to speculate. Lights flickered back to life in Madrid after a massive blackout hit Spain and Portugal, leaving passengers stranded at train stations while millions lost phone coverage and internet connections. The blackout's effect on businesses and personal imperatives were huge, so were the losses. This has prompted a commission set up in Spain to investigate the cause of crippling nationwide blackout, even though no possible causes had been ruled out. People queued on the streets of Madrid to purchase transistor radios to keep abreast with the happenings, while some took the bus, as the power outage forced the metros and supermarkets to close abruptly. In other news, the United Nations say the number of refugees across the globe shows that violence has become the defining currency of the present age. Filippo Grandi, the United Nations Commissioner for Refugees, told the UN Security Council that the plight of millions across the globe is exacerbated by the more than 120 conflicts which are raging unabated. He paid particular attention in his remarks to Sudan and Ukraine, where close to 7 million people have become refugees.
That peace is for the weak. That the only way to end war is not through negotiation, but by inflicting so much pain on your enemies that they're left with two choices: to surrender or to be annihilated.
Grandi also faulted politics across the globe playing part in the retrenchment away from humanitarian aid. Kolo Mohammed, NTAi News.
And now to the Vatican, where an Italian cardinal who was convicted of embezzlement and fraud on Tuesday said he will not take part in the secret conclave to elect the new pope that will be held in the Sistine Chapel next week, following the death of Pope Francis. Let's have details with Frama Panyi.
Cardinal Angelo Basilio, the most senior Catholic Church official ever to stand trial before a Vatican criminal court, was sentenced to 5.5 years in jail in December 2023. He denied all wrongdoings and is free pending an appeal. The Roman Catholic cardinals will begin their secret conclave to elect the new leader of the global church of 1.4 billion Catholics around the world, the Vatican announced on Monday. The date was decided during a closed-door meeting of cardinals at the Vatican, the first since the funeral of Pope Francis on Saturday. Following the Pope's death last week, Basilio launched an appeal in support of his right to be in the conclave, but on Tuesday, he issued a statement announcing he was formally pulling out. "I have decided to obey as I have always done Pope Francis. I will not enter the conclave while remaining convinced of my innocence," he said. 2 other Catholic cardinals will miss next week's conclave to elect a new pope because of health issues, the Vatican said on Tuesday. The Vatican did not name them, but a source at the Archdiocese of Valencia confirmed that its Archbishop Emeritus, Cardinal Antonio Canizares, will not be attending the conclave due to health reasons. A total of 135 cardinals are eligible to vote in the secret ceremony in the Sistine Chapel. If all the others attend, there will be 133 cardinals present. Cardinals have chosen May 7 as the date to start conclave and elect a new leader. The successor of Pope Francis must win a 2/3 majority. Key figures from the global south, notably in Asia and Africa, are believed to be in the running. Pope Francis, the first pontiff from the global south, passed away at the age of 88 following a lengthy battle with pneumonia and prolonged hospitalization earlier this year. Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, became a cardinal under Pope John Paul II in 2001 and succeeded Benedict XVI in 2013. His tenure saw him focus on social justice, climate change, migration, and the most marginalized people in the society. Frama Panyi, NTAi News.
And I'm back in Nigeria. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on traditional rulers in the country to support her advocacy on HPV vaccination in order to scale down cases of cervical cancer. She said this in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, while engaging with traditional rulers on the sideline of her one-day working visit to the state. Accompanied by the state governor, Seyi Makinde, and the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi, the First Lady was received by traditional rulers led by the Alaafin of Oyo, His Imperial Majesty Oba Akim Abimbola Owade I. She appealed to them to align with her vision to promote the health of their subjects by supporting her advocacies against female genital.
Upcoming program for us is the Flow with Confidence. So what we now decided to do was to make 10,000 supply of pads for a year for each state. So they are going to have, for 10,000 young girls, every girl will receive a year's supply of pads, sanitary towels. And when they receive that, we want it to go down to the rural community. And that's why the First Ladies are going to be handling it. We are looking at planting a tree competition up north. So we are looking at that, thinking that maybe they will take little community by community and make sure that each household plants a tree. So we are going to look at the dry area and know what type of trees to plant.
This is very important, ma'am. Whatever you need to tell them that you want them to take back to the grassroots.
We are delighted that this new project of yours will benefit our people and contribute to the growth and prosperity of our state.
The First Lady later inaugurated a community ICT center to further expand access to digital skills among women and youths in the country. The Renewed Hope Initiative train, now in Oyo State as part of the food outreach scheme to impact on the lives of the vulnerable, an initiative spearheaded by Office of Nigeria's First Lady. Represented by wife of the Vice President Nana Shatima, the First Lady reaffirms commitment to uplifting women and vulnerable communities across the country. Seras correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
I'm handing over these food items on behalf of the Mother of the Nation, onward distribution to your constituency. But please utilize it, right?
Another milestone in the Renewed Hope Initiative social investment program, the Food Outreach Scheme, part of commitment to alleviate the economic challenges. The arrival of the wife of the Vice President Nana Shatima in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, was a testament to improve the living standards for women and vulnerable groups through such empowerment and food security, which are critical pillars in the Renewed Hope agenda.
I am pleased to share with you all that since inception in 2023, the Renewed Hope Initiative has made significant progress in our efforts to support our people, particularly women and youth, towards building a better life for their families. These programs aim to further complement the Renewed Hope agenda of the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. As we distribute food items to families today, we implore and encourage you to make judicious use of these items. Please do not sell the food.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program serves as a reminder that our true strength lies in how we care for the less among us.
The initiative remains an avenue to transform lives across the country through various programs in health, education, agriculture, social investment, and economic empowerment. Part of 5 scopes of the Renewed Hope agenda is economic empowerment of 250 persons living with disabilities, with the support of 250,000 naira each to their families for economic growth. From Ibadan, Abraham Jibrila, NTAi News.
You're watching the news on International. We now take a short break. We'll be back soon. Now, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, is advocating responsible use of social media for national cohesion rather than misinformation. He said this during an engagement with social media influencers at the National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent NTAi reports.
It is the Speaker's maiden engagement with a cross-section of social media influencers. The theme of the event, Smart Cities and Ethical Media, Navigating the Role of Policy in National Development, seeks perspectives on balancing freedom of speech and national interest. The capacity of digital platforms to shape public opinion is not in doubt. Hence, Parliament is exploring the option of persuasion through inclusive dialogue.
We are not unmindful of the challenges posed by misinformation, digital security threats, and the misuse of online platforms. Nonetheless, our approach shall remain rooted in dialogue, education, and constructive engagement, rather than censorship or coercion.
We should repeal the part of the criminal code that allows for criminal defamation and revise and update libel laws and procedures to make it easier to sue for libel and obtain relief.
There were proposals for legislations that will produce smart cities for youth development.
I'm recommending Digital Urban Planning Act, maintaining smart city blueprint.
We want to hear that, oh, you helped us to build sporting facilities and fields where the champions of tomorrow start to grow.
I'm hoping that we'll begin to see policies becoming actions and new ideas are being factored into new policies for a better and a smart Nigeria.
If you're going to be doing anything with the media, you have to be responsible with it.
Such citizen engagement is part of the resolve of the 10th House of Representatives to deepen public participation in governance. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTAi News.
The vision of resilient, clean and greener cities in Nigeria with a strong focus on the Federal Capital Territory dominated discussion at the 2025 Abuja City Environmental Sustainability Summit. Now, this initiative, championed by the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Change Matters, highlighted the Presidency's dedication to a sustainable urban transformation as a vital component of its climate change agenda. Charles Alpha reports.
Years after its ambitious inception, Abuja's master plan, designed for a harmonious blend of residential areas and green spaces, is facing rapid environmental concerns. In response, the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Change Matters, under the leadership of Yusuf Olatunji Kelani, convened the Abuja City Environmental Summit, which aims to advance the Presidency's climate change interventions by fostering nationwide engagement on critical issues with an initial focus on plastic waste management.
We needed to pass that message for people to understand that they have to go by the rules, obey the laws of the city, and also adhere to all forms of environmental sustainability that has been put up for Abuja City. So we want the structures in the city to be well maintained. We want the parks to be well maintained.
We must continue to develop in line with the consideration of our environment, waste management, and of course, green technologies to be able to secure the city.
Making Abuja a resilient city. How do we achieve that without taking note of our greens? Our green areas, we're fast losing our green areas, and this is a call for action.
The summit seeks to foster engagement on Nigeria's net zero plan and plastic waste recycling, showcase the Federal Capital Territory's urban redevelopment initiatives, build capacity for local government officials, empower youth through waste-to-wealth initiatives, as well as facilitate stakeholders' collaboration for sustainable urban development. Charles Alpha, NTAi News.
The trial on alleged terrorism charge preferred against the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has commenced following the opening of the case by the Prosecution Council. A judiciary correspondent, Austin Anyebe, reports that the first prosecution witness has testified in the matter.
Both prosecution and defense team were prepared to start and end the case, as demonstrated by the speed in proceeding. Prosecution counsel Adegboyega Awomolo, senior advocate of Nigeria, who expressed his readiness to expedite proceeding, moved an ex parte application seeking protection of his witnesses, bearing in mind the nature of the alleged crime and the security situations. This was granted by the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, following no objection from the defense counsel led by Kanu Agabi, senior advocate of Nigeria. The prosecution proceeded to call the first witness who gave evidence on how Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in 2015. He told the court that the defendant charged with terrorism was arrested with several broadcast gadgets and other telecommunication items on the 14th of October 2015. Led in evidence by his counsel, the witness said during a video interrogation that the defendant admitted to be the founder and leader of the proscribed IPOP, operator of Radio Biafra, the radio he admitted not registered with the National Broadcasting Commission or any other agency in Nigeria. The prosecution tendered 3 bags containing all items he was arrested with, his 2 international passports and other documents which were admitted in evidence by the court.
The matter has commenced on a good note, very sound note, very civilized trial, and we hope by the grace of God we'll continue on this note and get to the end.
Having taken the evidence of the first prosecution witness, the court adjourned to Friday, 2nd of May 2025 for cross-examination and the testimony of the second prosecution witness. From the Federal High Court, Austin Anyebe, NTAi News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested a prominent businesswoman, Aisha Suleiman Achimugu, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The report says Achimugu was apprehended in the early hours of Tuesday on her arrival from London. The arrest is linked to an ongoing EFCC investigation into alleged criminal conspiracy and money laundering. The Federal High Court Abuja Division had earlier ordered Achimugu to honor the EFCC's invitation on Tuesday. This follows a court order issued by Justice Yang Eko, directing Achimugu to report to the Anti-Graft Agency on April 29, 2025. The court also mandated her appearance on Wednesday, April 30, 2025, to continue legal proceedings in the matter. Aisha Achimugu is currently undergoing interrogation on alleged money laundering. Now, in a significant development for agricultural sustainability, Nigeria has introduced its first zinc-enriched rice varieties, Faro 71 and Faro 72. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari, the Minister of Agriculture, says the initiative aims to tackle major challenges in rice production and enhance food and nutrition security for the nation's smallholder farmers. Musa Baliu has the details.
Zinc deficiency is a significant public health issue in Nigeria, contributing to poor nutrition outcomes, especially among women and children. According to the National Nutrition Service and Global Health Reports, anemia affects about 68% of children under 5 in Nigeria, with zinc and iron deficiencies being major underlying causes. The national stunting prevalence among children under 5 in Nigeria is 37%. But with the release of the Faro 71 and Faro 72, the first biofortified zinc-enriched rice varieties in Nigeria and Africa, these statistics are expected to change soon.
So now we're going into the commercialization phase to ensure that, yes, our seed companies, who are business entities saddled with the responsibility of multiplying and selling seeds, they have access to the early generation seeds, and as well as within rural communities, we're also going to run what we call the community seed enterprise or production, where rural people are empowered to produce their own seeds.
These varieties will not only offer higher zinc content and yield, but it is also climate resilience, such as adaptability to savanna and rainforest ecologies, drought tolerance, pest and disease resistance, making them a valuable tool for enhancing productivity and resilience of rice farming systems in vulnerable communities.
But this one is inbred. This seed, this rice will come with its own zinc. It's not something that you add to it after or while you're processing it. It comes with its own zinc. So that is that will affect the bigger population. Not everybody has access to processed food, but this one is actually coming straight from the farm. So it will come fortified with zinc. So I believe we are going to cover, and we are serious on how to present this to all the farmers and all the markets of the public.
Experts say the enriched rice varieties can meet up to 40% of daily zinc requirements when consumed regularly, making them a practical and proven solution to combat zinc deficiency in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTAi News.
Now, President Tinubu has congratulated Tony Atta, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Renaissance Africa Energy Company, on his 60th birthday. In a statement, the president praised Atta's career in the energy sector, highlighting his previous roles as CEO of Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) Limited and Managing Director of Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company (SNEPCO). And also, President Bola Tinubu has extended warm congratulations to veteran journalist and publisher Chief Monso Oluwasago as the Oriwo Sun community newspaper as it marks its 40th anniversary on the media landscape. Describing Oriwo Sun as Nigeria's most enduring community newspaper, Tinubu praised the Ikorodu-based publication for its resilience and continued relevance despite the evolving challenges facing print media. In a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President commended Olowo Sago for his pioneering role in grassroots journalism and for using the platform to contribute meaningfully to the development of the Ikorodu community and Lagos State at large. And this is where the news ends. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemunyi. Taiwo Uzoma has been the sign language interpreter.